Okay, good morning, everyone. So, the topic that we're going to study today is about composition, basic composition. Now, the question comes that what is a composition? What is the basic element of composition? What is composition all about in English grammar? Okay. So, whether it's English grammar or it's Hindi grammar, composition is something wherein you create a passage, you write something, you create something verbally or in a written way, wherein you give your opinion about, an issue or a certain topic, whichever has been given to you, and it is completely your opinion. Now, see, you can give your opinion not just on abstract knowledge. When you're talking about composition, you should be well done with the research of creating that composition. Now, let's start from the beginning. Let's start with the basics of composition, as it is there in the slide. You can see what is a composition all about. So, in a composition, you are mostly supposed to give your opinion about an issue and support it with the help of logical arguments and examples. So, when I say that composition does not have to be an abstract entity, it means that whatever your topic is, suppose your topic is population explosion, you cannot simply go on and on saying that India's got great population, India's got large population, the population is so, the population is rising, the population. Okay, how do you know the population is rising? What are the reasons behind it? What are the problems that is caused by overpopulation? What does the data say? What does the statistics say? Okay, so when I say it should be well researched, it means whatever the topic is, whichever topic you're going to talk on, you are going to substitute it, you are going to add all the research work that you have done after it. So, your topic, whatever issue you are talking about, it does not have to be your own personal opinion. It will definitely be your opinion, but it should always be substituted by facts, key features, correct data, and whatever logical argument you can give regarding that topic. Okay? Suppose you have a topic about which weather do you mostly like? What is your favorite weather? So if I say my favorite weather is winter season, my favorite weather is that of cold. When it's cold, it is most likely that I enjoy. So that cold weather or the cold climate or the winter season, what is it about the winter season that it makes so pleasant for people or it makes so pleasant for me? So in that case, you're going to talk about the key features of the winter season. You're going to talk about temperature. You're going to talk about, the environment, the atmosphere. You're going to talk about all the benefits that you have in the winter season. You're going to talk about, the calm and sereneness that you have around. You're going to talk about the good fruits and the good vegetables that you get in winter season. So these are all, when you're talking about these things, you're stating certain facts, you're stating certain information about that particular season. So what a composition is about, a composition is a set of information. It is an opinion of a particular person or an individual or a writer or the author, which is always followed by, which is always substituted with lots of information, lots of, say, facts, features, data, statistics, okay, and so on. A composition cannot be fiction. Okay. And even if, suppose, when we talk about comprehension passages sometimes, so there is a paragraph of fiction that you get. Even if it is a fiction, the answers that you give for that from the questions that are asked in that composition will only be based on that, the paragraph that has been assigned to you. Okay, so let's simplify it further. What is composition? Composition is mostly your opinion, your ideas about an issue, which will be substituted by facts and data on that particular topic. Okay. Now let's move ahead. Let's move to the next slide. So what are the different types of compositions that we have? What are the different types of, the ways in which we can write composition? What are the, different ways of, say, analyzing a text? Or simply when you are asked to write something in a composition, on what criteria do you set? Do you, decide about what to write and what to, miss out? So for that, we need to know what are the different types of writing when we are writing a composition. So here is a list. You can see here. This says this has given you the different types of writings that we have. See, the first writing is creative writing, as you can see here. Creative writing. So, creative writing, the word itself suggests that, it is a writing that uses your creativity. It will use your creativity, it will use your imagination. So, it can be fictional, it can be created, it can be imagined, it can be your fancy. Okay. So, originality and ideas to create work here which are not factual. In creative writing, you do not really need any factual content. Okay, for example, if I say on a snowy evening, if you're asked to write a composition about an evening spent while it was snowing outside, a snowy evening spent by you. Okay, so in that composition, children, going to talk about the facts, the data. Okay, fine. You can just give a little brief about the temperature that was, chilling cold. It was very much, it was extremely cold. You were getting goosebumps and, you were shivering, this and that. The temperature might have been somewhere -1 or -2 degree and so on. But these are, mere simple facts about it. You do not need to go too much in detail. Why? Because here the focus is in your creativity. When you're writing, when you're making a creative writing in a composition, the focus is mostly on your ideas and on your imagination. Okay. Here, the facts, the statistic, the data, the logical aspect of the composition is kind of avoided. Okay. So here it's all about your imagination. For example, when if you have read a poem by Robert Frost. Okay. So in Robert Frost's poem, the writer he talks about two roads diverged in a wood, and I was confused which one to take. Okay. So I chose the one which was less traveled by, and that made all the difference. So when you read this passage, when you read this poem, the stanzas, this is creative writing, children. The writer is talking about a situation in life which he is metaphorically representing through, which he is metaphorically representing through his experience of visiting a jungle where he comes across a passage where two roads diverged before him. No, this passage has got no fact, no data, no statistic. It is sheer imagination. You're only working on imagination. So you just close your eyes and you can, have a view of a wood, a jungle in front of you, and you can imagine yourself standing there, and there two roads are diverged before you, and you're standing there and just thinking about, just taxing your brains on which road should you be taking. This road, this journey is children metaphorical. It is actually symbolic of the road, the journey we take in life. Okay, and the journey that we make in life, that makes all the difference. Okay, so had you taken a science stream, if you've taken science stream, your life will be different. If you are a arts and humanities student, your life is going to be different. If you go on, you become a naval officer, your life is going to take a different course. If you become an army officer or a doctor, your life will be entirely different. Okay, so see, whatever I'm talking to you right now, it is all based on creativity. It's all based on imagination. If you are in a snowy evening, you are out of your house, you can just imagine, those snowflakes falling on your cheek, on your face, and the slow wind, the cold, chilly wind, the breeze passing by you, and you're shivering, and you're probably liking it also, and you're enjoying it, and it's thrilling to you. You don't want to go back to home. You want to stay there. You want to, enjoy that cool wave, that cool breeze, and there are trees around. The wind makes certain sound, and that sound is so beautiful. You want to just run away from the bustling city life and be there forever. And you feel so relaxed. You feel so good. This is the place to be. Now, as I'm saying all of this, I'm sure you all must have gone into a state of trance. But yeah, this is where we want to be. We all want to be, relaxed. We all want to be happy. We all want to enjoy good weather, good situations, good circumstances, not too much overloaded by the pressure of work, and sometimes should be there for your own self also. Okay, so this is all imagination. So when I say creative writing is all but imagination. Your idea, your opinion, your imagination, as far as it can go. Okay, so that is creative. So there can be compositions on creative writing as well. Okay, for example, if you get a topic that share your experience, you have to write a composition on your first experience when you entered your favorite college, the college that you have been aspiring for, throughout your life. So, yeah. So, on the basis of your imagination, how your first day should be, you can write endless. Okay, but there's definitely a certain limit. But you can go on and on and on because it's based on imagination. Imagination can take you anywhere. Okay, now let's go with the next type of writing, that is informative writing. See, children, your informative writing is very much opposite to your imaginative writing or creative writing. Why? Because see, informative writing is where you have to give information. Informative writing is where you cannot just keep imagining things in informative writing. You have to give information. How do you give information? When you give information, before that, you need to really, do your homework, get your homework done completely. So you have to find out data, you have to find the facts, you have to find the figures, you have to find the statistics. Okay. So for example, if there's a topic on, the rise of schools or rise of education system in our country in past 5 years. So you'll have to, collect a lot of data. You have to make a lot of research. So you'll go from city to city, from village to village, all the rural areas, all the urban areas. You have to cover it all. You'll have to find out the new schools that have developed in these regions, okay, in these 5 years. Then how many students have taken admission? How many students passed out? How many boys were there? How many girls were there? What was the ratio of education for from of that of boys to the girls? Okay, the Beti Padhao, Beti Bachao Abhiyan that has been run by the government. So, for how much this policy has been followed in school, how many girls have gotten the deserving education, okay, the education that they deserve. So all of this data year by year, with all data, with all statistics, with numbers, with facts, with key figures and everything. So you have to get all of them. You have to collect them all, and with that data, you have to create a composition. So when you read that composition, it is going to be loaded with information. So informative writing is where there's a lot of information in the form of data, and you have to ensure that the data that you're providing, data should not be imagined. Data and facts and figures should never be imagined. They have to be correct. They have to be well researched. They have to be gone through. Okay, so because if when you giving an informative lecture or an informative writing thing you're doing, you can be questioned on the data presented. Data can never be wrong. Okay, so B, when you're writing informational this composition, please ensure that the data that you have is correct. Okay, because the other students, the readers, the ones who are listening to you, they're going to grasp from your information. Okay, they're going to learn from your information. So you have to ensure that your data is correct. All right. Now, moving ahead to the next type of composition. Now, this one is persuasive composition, persuasive writing. Now, what does persuasive mean? Persuasive writing is a type of writing that intends to persuade someone or it intends to influence the reader's attitude or action. So, suppose you have to write a persuasive writing, you have to create some data on persuasion uh, or a composition on which has to be kind of persuasive writing. For that, the topics are going to be such. For example, healthy habits, getting up early. Suppose there's a passage that you read, there's a composition that you read, which is on yoga, on meditation. So when you read that passage, by the end of that passage, by the time you finish that passage, you will be convinced that yoga is good for you. Meditation is good for you. You will think, you will start thinking. You'll have this idea in your mind that why am I not doing it? I must do it. I should do it. I should get up early every day. I should really, meditate for 15, 20, 30 minutes every day. It's very important. Why? Because the writing is such. No doubt it's a good practice. No doubt it is something we really need to do, but the way it has been said to you or the way it has been written in front of you. It is in the form of persuasive writing, so as to, get its readers or get the listeners, the TED Talks that we hear everywhere on YouTube, on Insta, on, you know, through reels and all. The TED Talks we hear from so many, motivational, uh, uh, speakers like Jay Shetty is there, or the others are there. Divya Kriti sir is there. There are so many people are there. Okay, so the way they are talking, they're asking you to work hard. They're asking you to, put in your best in the prime of your life. So the speech is such, the way they are talking, it is such that you are persuaded, that you are influenced, that you are convinced. So there will be compositions. There are compositions. And how do you, what is the key element of that content? It is by talking about its benefits. You talk about the benefits. Okay, you talk about the things that you're gaining. You're going to gain after that positive thinking, after you're changing your attitude or uh, getting up early and so on. Okay, all right. So this is persuasive writing. The next kind we have is descriptive writing. Now, see, children, descriptive writing is very easy. Descriptive writing is basically analysis of something. You just describe certain thing. There will be a place, there can be food, it can be certain situation, there can be certain circumstances, your visit to some place. So when you're completely describing the aura of something, okay. Suppose you're talking about this is descriptive writing on your first visit to a hill station. So when you write about your first visit to a hill station, you're going to describe everything about it. Okay. You're going to analyze every single thing and you're going to describe it all. So you went to this place called Manali, and Manali has huge mountains. It has huge big hills, mountains, and they're all snow covered. Okay. You say you will see snow caps on the mountains. Okay. Wherever you look around, you look here and there, everywhere it's hilly. The weather is so cold. The beauty is scenic. You find flowers, multicolored flowers. You find, blooming, blossoming, purple, red, white, violet, you know, yellow, orange, so many pink color flowers. Okay, so many things are there. You meet people, they're all dressed up in, firans and warm dresses. Their heads are covered, and they're very beautiful people. They're white skinned. Why? Because mostly in cold region you find white skinned people. Okay, the ambience look good. They're very sweet spoken. They'll talk to you very nicely, very sweetly. The food is delicious. You don't feel any kind of heat. Wherever you look, here and there, left and right, you find beauty everywhere. So this is all what? This is all descriptive writing. And in descriptive writing, you're just going to simply describe the things. Whatever is happening around, whatever you're seeing around, you are simply describing everything. Okay. Now, the next kind is the next kind is expository writing. Okay. Now, when we talk of expository writing, give me a minute.